Hello, everyone. Mr. Corey here again. I've got the same book again. We're going to read Eerie Elementary. Today, we're going to read chapters 2 and 3. They're kind of short chapters, so we're going to knock out 2 today. Same as before. If you'd like, just sit back, listen, get comfortable. If you want to color or draw while you listen, that's fine too. Somewhere where you can kind of focus and listen. All right? So here's Eerie Elementary, chapter 2. Yesterday, we learned about Sam, how he kind of got into some weird situation at school with the school. Um, and today we're going to find out what's going to happen to Sam next. All right. So if you remember, he was sinking into quicksand the last time we were with Sam. All right. So let's see what happens. Chapter 2 is called Mr. Nakobe. Just as the quicksand was about to swallow Sam, a hand grabbed his wrist. His eyes shot open. It was Mr. Nakobe, the old man who took care of the school. Mr. Nakobe tugged. Sam was yanked free. Sam gasped for air. "The playground sand," Sam said. "It just tried to eat me." There's that picture again. Mr. Nakobe slowly got to his feet. He was out of breath, too. His face looked like a piece of paper that someone had balled up and then tried to flatten again. He stared at Sam. His eyes were small and gray. A chill went up Sam's spine. Mr. Nakobe growled, "You should be more careful, or you won't last long as hall monitor, Sam Graves." "Be careful of what?" "Be careful because some other parts of the school might try to eat me?" Sam asked. Then he paused. "Wait, what does my being the hall monitor have to do with this? Why do you even care if I stay on as hall monitor or not?" Mr. Nakobe began walking away. Over his shoulder, he said, "Because I'm the one who chose you." "What does that even mean?" Sam asked. But Mr. Nakobe didn't answer. He simply turned the corner out of sight. Sam shook his head, thinking, "This has been the weirdest day of my life, and it's only 8:30 in the morning." He needed to tell Lucy and Antonio about the quicksand and about creepy Mr. Nakobe. But first, he had to ditch the orange sash. Sam darted inside and flung open his locker. Whoa! He stumbled back and threw his hand over his nose. His locker stunk. The smell coming out of Sam's locker reminded him of rotten chocolate milk or something. "Yikes! What did I leave in here?" he asked. Sam shoved the sash inside his locker. Then he knew what it smelled like. Really bad breath. All right, that was chapter 2. So chapter 3 is called Tick Tock, Tick Tock. Sam slammed his locker shut. He rushed into Miss Grinker's classroom. Miss Grinker was short and thin, with frizzy gray hair. She was listening everyone's parts for Friday's class play on the board. Sam slid into his desk between Antonio and Lucy. He whispered, "Guys, the freakiest thing just happened. I got trapped in quicksand on the playground." Lucy scrunched up her forehead. Antonio scratched his chin. Then they both tried not to laugh. "If it happened to you," Sam whispered, "you wouldn't be laughing." "Sam, Lucy, Antonio," yelled Miss Grinker, all three kids face front. "Please pay attention," Miss Grinker said. "I am still giving out the parts for Peter Pan." "I'm playing Peter Pan," Antonio whispered to Sam. He had a big smile on his face. He always did. He was the happiest kid Sam knew. "And I'm playing Wendy," Lucy whispered. "Sam Graves, you'll be playing Noodler. He is one of the Captain Hook's friendly pirates," said Miss Grinker. Sam nodded, but all he could think about was the man-eating playground. As the day wound down, Sam stared out the window. An old oak tree was blowing in the breeze. It was moving strangely. Sam leaned forward on his desk. The tree looked like a giant oak hand waving at Sam. Sam shivered. Then he looked at the clock across the room. How long until this day is over, he thought. Sam could hear the clock. Tick-tock, tick-tock, tick-tock. How can I hear the clock from way over here, he wondered. Then the sound of the clock changed. Sam no longer heard tick-tock, 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 but the sound became a bum-bum, bum-bum. Sam was even more confused. That doesn't even sound like a normal clock. But I do know what that sound bum-bum, 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 bum-bum. It sounded like a beating heart. Oof. Kind of spooky. That's the end of the chapter. We'll read it the next chapter tomorrow. But kind of like I did yesterday, I have a journal entry for you guys. So if you need to pause the video so you can go grab your journal, that's fine. And then press play whenever you're ready to roll. I'm going to go ahead and present my screen again so you guys can see what's on my screen so I can show you what we're writing about today. Okay, so yesterday, this was the journal entry. So yesterday we talked about what does the word eerie mean? So you were supposed to look up the word eerie and find out what the word meant. And then you were supposed to figure out, why did I think Renfro Elementary kind of seemed eerie yesterday and still today? Why is it different now at school than it normally is? So why did I feel like Renfro is kind of eerie now? That was yesterday's. Today's looks like this. So what you're going to do, you're going to go to a new page. I would prefer you just go ahead and go to the back of that first page. So let's save on paper. So go to the back of that first page you were on, and at the very tippity top, like we did yesterday, write today's date, which is Tuesday, August 25th. And if I'm going too fast, you can always pause me and then press play when you're ready. So at the very top, you're writing Tuesday, August 25th, and then in the middle, on the first line, you're going to write the title of our book, which is Eerie Elementary, and you're going to write Chapter 2 and 3. So what we just read was Chapter 2 and Chapter 3. So for today's journal entry, we're going to work on predictions. You guys are going to make a prediction. So what a prediction is you're trying to guess what you think is going to happen in the future. So we don't know what's going to happen in the future, obviously, but what a prediction is you try to guess what's going to happen, all right? So we've only read chapters 1, 2, and 3. Now what you're going to do is try to guess what's going to happen in chapters 4, 5, 6, and so on throughout the book. So the two questions you're going to answer today are, what do you think is going to happen to Sam? So Sam's got some weird stuff going on with him at school. So what do you think is going to happen with Sam? And the second question is, what do you think is happening to the school? So what's going on with the school, Eerie Elementary? Why do you think it's acting kind of unusual, not like a normal school would? You're going to write, same as yesterday, 3, 4, or 5 sentences total, not for each question, but just total. And write, like I said, in your nicest, neatest handwriting, capital letter at the beginning of the sentence, finger space in between words, and periods at the end. All right. So like I said, you're going to keep track of this in your writing journal. Nothing else should be in there. So no drawings. If you want to draw like a little picture at the bottom of your journal entry, that's fine. But it has to be about what you wrote about. And don't skip any pages. It should be every single page should have something on it, even the backs of it. And always make sure you write the date so we know when you did that. Okay. And then whenever we're allowed to come back to school, you're going to bring your journal back to school, and I'm going to take a look at it, and I'll help you with your writing. All right, that was today's read aloud. I hope you guys are continuing to enjoy the book. We will read chapter 4 tomorrow. All right, I hope you guys have a good day. I miss seeing you in class. Hopefully, like I said, sometime soon you can come back in. All right, so have a good rest of the day. I'll see you guys soon.